Hey everyone, I'm Maya. Welcome to my channel. I'm a self-care coach and the host of Gentler, a podcast all about practical self-care, personal development, and post-grad life. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you subscribe to this channel and go check out Gentler in the link in the bio. Or no, this is not Instagram. The link in the description. Today we're talking about 3 self-care mistakes that I see often in my clients and also just in general on social media, whatever, when I talk to people, all of that. And so I think it's really helpful for you to be aware of these mistakes so that if you are making them, you don't beat yourself up about it. You can just acknowledge it and make different decisions later and benefit from those instead. So let's go ahead and get into it. But also, if you want to see how I use self-care to inform my productivity habits and all of that so I can have time to do the things that I really care about, then make sure you check out the link in the description box. I have a free workshop all about how you can set time aside for your side hustles, for your goals, all of that without having to wait to feel motivated. So if that interests you, make sure you go click there and watch it. Okay, so first mistake I see people make when it comes to self-care is treating self-care like a reward. And I think there's a certain charm in treating self-care like a reward. Like it's cute, like it was self-care Sunday, or I worked really hard this week, so I'm gonna have this glass of wine. That's all fine and dandy, but you have to be practicing self-care all the time, like daily, multiple times throughout the day. It has to be kind of like a way of you living, like a lifestyle. It needs to be more of a responsibility. And I don't want to take the fun out of it, but that's really the way you have to see it. Because imagine you are like your own best tool, and not to make it seem like you're just something disposable and that you just use. But if you have like a really like nice knife or a nice tool or something, you want to make sure that those things are being maintained so that they can do the best work. You wouldn't just leave it out hanging around, let people walk all over it, all that kind of stuff, because it's not going to be in its best condition. It's something very valuable. You're not going to let just anyone, use it and all of that. Let it be used for all different sorts of things. Like if you had like a really expensive pen. So see yourself as something of immense value. And so you have to maintain yourself so that you can then put out the best work and do the best things for yourself and for other people as well. So self-care has to be a responsibility. Now it gets tricky to wrap your mind around that when you think of self-care only as a select handful of things, like bubble baths and wine and face mask, all that kind of stuff. That's why we have to broaden our understanding of what self-care is. Under the gentler framework of self-care, I have 3 different types. We talk about it all the time on the podcast. But essentially, to put it simply, the main purposes of the 3 different types of self-care are 1, to get to know yourself better, 2, to nurture yourself better, and 3, just to have fun. Somewhere along your day, you should be doing something like that for each of the, like you should be doing something for each of those 3 things somewhere. And that could be simple. So maybe like you wake up and pray or meditate to get to know yourself better and to get a better understanding of who you are. And then you make sure that you have a nice breakfast and drink water all throughout the day and nurture yourself. And then maybe at the end of the day, you have an Animal Crossing session and just play video games just to have fun. There doesn't have to be like a direct return from that. But when you do all of those 3 things kind of in tandem and in a cycle and work together, you're building a fully well-rounded self-care routine, and that's what you have to have. So we have to make sure that we're broadening our idea of self-care and that we're using that idea so that we can make sure that we're covering all our bases. Essentially, self-care is any action that you do to help you get closer to your dream life, your aligned life, ideal life vision, all that. Self-care is the steps that you take to get there. So it could literally be any action. It doesn't have to be bubble baths, doesn't have to be face mask, any of that. That stuff's great. I love it. I'm probably gonna do it tonight. But it can't be the only type of self-care that you do. Which brings us to our second self-care mistake, which is only practicing self-care that feels good. So this is another reason why self-care kind of gets caught in this reward thing. Aside from societal pressures that just don't allow us to take any time for ourselves if it doesn't make other people money or make ourselves money or anything like that. But I digress. Self-care can't be things that feel good in the moment only. That stuff is great. Again, that's why we have 3 different facets of self-care so you can handle each of those different needs. But you also need to be practicing self-care that doesn't give you an instant return or instant gratification. So things that help future you more so, and maybe that don't feel great in the moment. Maybe it doesn't feel good at all. Maybe it's nerve-wracking or something, but you know that later on there's going to be an immense benefit because you took that uncomfortable step. So that can look like making doctor's appointments, or finally taking control of your financial situation, or even just deciding to clean up your apartment at the end of the day and getting your clothes out, or exchanging some type of food for another that will make you feel better in the end. All of that stuff is self-care. I like to call it preparatory self-care. That doesn't necessarily feel great in the moment, but you know it's going to take care of you in the future. We have to start incorporating that type of self-care so that we don't just chase what feels good in the moment. Because a lot of times the stuff that feels good in the moment is the stuff that's going to be harmful in the long term. So we have to make sure that we're looking out for long term and future us too, so that we don't have to end up dealing with all our mistakes later. Because nothing feels worse than being in situations that you hate, that you feel like you didn't deserve because you made some type of decision in the past that got you there. That's a horrible feeling. Don't want you to experience it anymore. I'm sure you already have because you're human and that's fine, but now let's move past it. And the third mistake I see people make is not taking ownership of your time, not budgeting your time. The same way that we think about budgeting our money, we have to budget our time as well. Our time is so valuable, and the thing about money is that you can always make more money. It might seem difficult, you might not always know how, but you can always make more money. We cannot create more time. It is impossible. I don't want you to regret and think about time that you have potentially wasted or anything, however that feels for you. But I do want you to think about how you can use your time more intentionally. Get very specific and clear on what your hours are going to be used for. I always recommend that people give every single hour a job. And I talk about that in my workshop too, and how that looks in real time, especially during the day, like if you're working or something like that. I think is really important because you don't want to get years from now and thinking, what did I do with my time? And you might have moments like that already, but at least you can come back and say, oh, actually, I am pretty proud of what I did with it. I did this, this, and this. I accomplished this. And at least I started to feel better about myself. Even if I didn't mark a lot of things off the checklist or anything like that, I feel happy with how things were spent because I used them the way I wanted to. And I didn't just let life kind of roll by and I sat by passively. Even if you're a chill person, that needs to come with some type of ownership of your time, boundaries, and prioritization. All that stuff is super important, and that's a big self care mistake that I see when people ignore or kind of forget to handle that. You shouldn't just let time and life kind of run you. You need to sit down and think about how you want your days to look, what you want to experience throughout the day or in your life or in the year, all of that, and how you can work to make that happen and guarantee it for yourself. Because no one else is going to take time out of their day to make sure that you're living your best life. That is solely your responsibility. A lot of people will make sure that you're doing what you can to make sure that they live their best lives, but you have to look out for yourself as well. So hopefully one of those three self-care mistakes, potentially all of them, help you get back in the direction of positive, practical self-care. If so, then make sure you give this video a like, share it with a friend that might find it useful, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you're listening to Gentler Podcast every Monday and Wednesday. I hope that you enjoyed this. Make sure you also check out my free workshop so you can learn how to set time aside for your goals or side hustles without waiting to feel motivated. And I hope you enjoy it. I will see you all again soon. Bye.